Marcus Hersh from the Daily Racing Forum, coming to you just after the conclusion of Breeders' Cup Friday 2017 at Del Mar. It seemed like a successful day to me. Lots of good racing, no major incidents, except some casualties at the betting windows, I'm sure. Let's just real quick talk about the dirt track. I mean, we'll see what it's like tomorrow for Breeders' Cup Saturday, but today I thought it started off pretty fair, but maybe was a little outside biased by the end of the day. The jockeys seemed to be riding it that way, and I just thought the race flows really indicated that it was better to make a later run and be off the rail a few paths. I think we saw that in the Distaff, the last Breeders' Cup race of the day, won, I thought, very impressively by Forever Unbridled. Great campaign by trainer Dallas Stewart. She won for owner Charles Fipke. Dallas, from the very beginning, said he was going to just run her a couple times. She had only 2 starts this entire year coming into the race. It was the plan. I know he flirted maybe with the Belgium Stakes, but didn't go for it, just trained her right up here, trusted his training, and boy, did she run great. She looked amazing in the paddock. Her coat was tremendous, and John Velasquez, who somewhat controversially was handed them out at the last minute over Joel Rosario, gave her a great trip. She attacked on the turn, going comfortably to make the lead, and held off Abel Tasman. Abel Tasman came from way back, made a nice run, was kind of closing on the winner at the 8th hole, but could not get there. A fine second for her. And Paradise Woods also, I thought, ran well to be third. She hooked up early. Not really hooked up, though, is the thing. She relaxed nicely in this race, much more so than she has sometimes, which I think bodes well for her future. She held on for third, beating 4th place Elate, who wound up favored in this race, and was a little bit disappointing. She had a good trip, just didn't kick on in the stretch like a lot of people thought she was going to. But I think obviously the biggest disappointment in the race was Stellar Wind, who was compromised by a bad start last year, had this race as a goal the whole year, and didn't get away very well, was stuck down the inside, and if that wasn't very good, that was a negative, but she just didn't make much of a run at all. Was no factor in the end, and was kind of an unfortunate conclusion to her campaign. Just going real quick through the other 3 races on the card. The Juvenile Turf was won, I thought, very solidly by Mendelssohn. Aidan O'Brien has now won this race, trainer Aidan O'Brien, 4 times in its 11 runnings. Ryan Moore has ridden all of those winners. 4 for 11 in one Breeders' Cup race is nothing short of remarkable. This horse he's got a bad 7th and a bad 8th showing on his form. He's been a handful to deal with and figure out, but blinkers have turned him around. Very professional race today. He is a half-brother to the champion dirt mare Beholder, and therefore he's being pointed to the Kentucky Derby next year. They thought about trying him on dirt this time, decided to wait because he was not experienced enough, but now the connections were quite straightforward about wanting to run this horse in the first leg of the Triple Crown. That's definitely something to be excited about. He's put away for the rest of this year, probably won't run in the States until the Derby if that plan comes to fruition. One note on this race, the English horse Massar had a really unfortunate incident coming into the far turn. Jockey William Buick lost one of his stirrups and rode the last close to a half mile with just one leg in the irons. The horse, I think, finished 6th, not being all that much. It was a pretty strong showing considering the circumstances. The Dirt Mile, really, really strong race. Battle of Midway, maybe taking advantage of the outside flow today, came late and ran down a dead game Sharp Azteca, who battled head and head the entire race. When collared by Battle of Midway and Upper Stretch, really fought on gamely. That is a game, hard-trying horse. It was an exciting finish, but congratulations, Jerry Hollendorfer had this horse in an unusual pattern, went to Remington for the Oklahoma Derby, which he lost last time. But that set him up for the race today over a track he clearly loved. More spirit, to the surprise probably of no one who watched his workouts, which were, to say the least, not very impressive. Never really picked up his feet, was no part of the finish, nor was Accelerate, who had run so well at Del Mar over the summer, which is no factor. And finally, the Juvenile Fillies Turf went to, no surprise, trainer Chad Brown. He is loaded again with young, talented turf horses. Rushing Fall followed through on the 2 races she'd run to start her career. Really strong performances in New York, and she won the Jessamine Stakes. What surprised me about her today was how well she kept up. I thought she was lacking any sort of positional speed, but Javier Castellano was able to position her in mid-pack, stayed outside the whole time, compromised by giving up ground in order to get a clean trip, and made a strong move to the lead and finished it off nicely. A very solid showing, but it does bear mentioning that the 3rd place finisher, September, Another O'Brien horse completely missed the break here, 2.5 lengths slow. She made a strong run around the turn and into the stretch, but just had too much to overcome. A fine performance to finish third. The favorite, another O'Brien horse, happily just had no luck whatsoever in the running. She was not away very well from an inside draw, stuck down inside the whole time. Ryan Moore just kept her on the fence, hoped to get through. She never got through. She finished last. Hope you finished first in a bunch of your selections today. And we're on to the big day tomorrow, Saturday, which hopefully will be just as satisfying as Breeders' Cup Friday.